So yesterday I did my first facilitation in a shadow work workshop. So I had done a constellation workshop as a participant, as a representative 2 days ago. And there were people, like the people organizing it. I told them about this new facilitation that I learned, shadow work. So I told them, like, I was like, do you want me to demo it to you? Do you want to try it out? They were like, yeah, sure. But because we didn't have time, they were like, they sent me like yesterday or the day before, they sent me a text like, can you do it Monday evening? Like, yeah, sure. So inviting a couple of people, we had like, I guess five women, 1 man and me. So 6 in total, something like that. And yeah, 6 in total, 7 in total, 7 in total, including me. So then, like, there were kind of nerves because all of the people that were there were either CAP facilitators. One was a CAP facilitator, like three CAP facilitators, 1 woman who does constellations, 1 woman who does energy work, and my friend who facilitated inner dance once for me, but who's gone to a lot of CAP sessions. Well, a lot, 7, 8, maybe more, maybe less. And that was like, something in me was like, because the way I learned to do the workshop, the way I learned the facilitation was in a 2-day workshop. It's from 10 till 6, and the second day it's from 10 till 4, and there's a certain structure that you follow. So, and there's 2 times that you work. But this time, like, I had all of a sudden like, okay, I need to condense it to them to give them an experience in a 2-3 hour session, 1-2-3 hour session. I thought it was going to take 1 hour, maybe max 2, but it actually took us. We arrived at 7-ish. We went in at 7:20, 7:30, and we were done at 10 something. So it took us quite a while. It was a bit of nervousness, but once we were in the room, just sitting there, like, I was like, okay. Like, my friend told me something. He's like, because I have this memory of my teacher who taught me to facilitate, and the teacher, he's very, very expansive and rich in the value that he shares in the words. And there's so much, like, the way he shares things, the way he talks, it's so rich, so much insight, so much, golden nuggets. And something in me was like, can I do that? Like, and there was this thing like, oh, that's the standard and I'm here. And he told me like, yeah, you're a beginning facilitator, like, to get here, it's like 10 years or whatever. I'm like, okay. But then my friend told me, like, don't you remember when we went to the constellation workshop with those 2 women? They just did a very brief introduction and then they just did the work. And I was like, oh yeah, they did that. They did do that. So I was like, yeah, okay, I can also do that. So I was like, okay, all of a sudden, like, there was less pressure. And I was like, okay. So I written on paper, like, some key notes, some key things, because I'm still learning. I have to internalize the process of facilitating, because facilitating is one thing, but the structure, the things that you say. So I had like notes. I was going over the notes. I was like telling them basic stuff, like, this is the premise, this is where we start. Then I let them do like 1 exercise to connect, to build, I guess, trust, or to connect a little bit. And then I did a small demo, like, this is how it works, this is the setup, this is what you do, these are the rules, this you can do, this you cannot do. And then we started to work. My friend, because he already had done a session, we put him up first, and so he was up first. And yeah, it was 1 man and 3 participants, women. He chose them, and the session started. Now, in this session, you don't talk. You don't use language. The only word that you can use is 50. 50 means, hey, whatever you're giving me, the intensity is way too much. Can you lower the intensity for a little bit, for 1 minute, for 30 seconds? That's the only word. Other than that, no words. It's like, it's allowing your impulses, your body, to translate the energy in the impulses as much as possible. Make it big. Like, if don't use words. So once the session started, so profound, because like, it's like it just started. It worked. Like, oh, it works. Everything works. Like, you feel in the presence of this thing happening, and it's like the energy of that is felt. I don't know if, when you're just participating, like I remember when I was participating, and then I was just watching from a side. You're just out of it. But you are observing. You're looking at it. But when you're participating, you're really in it. But when you're facilitating, apparently you're also in it in a different way. Yeah, it's difficult to describe, but it's not the same as when you're in it. But it feels like there's just an activation, and you're just hooked into to a stream, to a source, to an energy field. Like, you're there. And yeah, it just goes along. That goes along. Like, the facilitating happens. I don't facilitate. It's like facilitation happens. It's a happening. It's an unfolding. I don't do anything actively. I do nothing, actually. Yeah, and one more thing about that. You're sharing this experience with the participants, right? Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. And even though you're not involved in it the way they are, you're still sharing that energetic experience, or that energetic field, that energetic, we're all here together. Like, yeah, difficult to describe, very difficult to describe, but very beautiful. So then it's ongoing, and one of the women, it's a woman, all of a sudden, because she was being pushed and she was being touched in a certain way, she said, stop. She was like really annoyed. Stop. As soon as the words came out, it's like, it's like when you see animals and you just see animals behaving in certain ways, and then all of a sudden the context, word, stop, comes, and it creates this like meaning. It's too much for her. The story starts to come on. It's like I sensed it so subtly. The story. Oh, she doesn't like it. Oh, maybe it's too much. Like the whole story, because the word stop comes out. It's very interesting to witness that. Really witness that. It was beautiful. And then afterwards, she said, like after in the sharing, in the circle, she said, I really felt unsafe. And I was like, you don't have to continue if you don't want to. Do you want to continue? Like, yeah, but I really felt unsafe in that role. I don't know, maybe it was the role. She said that, and I said, like, I came closer. I'm like I wanted to hug her, I guess, but she's like, I really don't need a hug right now. And I just stood there and I'm like, you don't have to participate. It's okay. You can, yeah. So she went out. She sat for a while, and her friend did the session. Sessions went on, and then she did it. Right? I invited, do you want to do it? So she did the session. Now, every session takes about 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And it's like you had a session, and then there's a small moment where people, one by one, they talk about what they felt, so that, because you were living in this experience without perception, you're just living in the body, and then by talking about it, it like it anchors us back to earth. Like, okay, this is what happened, this is what was felt, this is to give a dynamic, a context, maybe a meaning, I don't know. Yeah, more like the way it's said, it's a tool to ground us back to earth, right? And so then, oh wait, one more thing. What do I want to say? Yeah, it's just a tool which allows us to understand what's happening, the dynamic of what's happening. Yeah. And so then as the session went on and she did it, like the woman who at first yelled stop, her session was filled with pure love. Pure love. Just everybody was hugging like this, like for 10-15 minutes straight. Like there was some kind of movements also and changes, but so much love. And she was like yeah, she was so happy. And afterwards she's like, at first I didn't like it, but when that happened, I was like more and more like, yeah. And yeah, we saw, like, I knew in a way all these people a little bit. I had received CAP sessions from them, or an energy session. And now, yeah, just witnessing that, experiencing that, so beautiful. And at the end, everybody sharing, and that whole process of being in it, dancing through it, checking in on everybody. Are you ready to go? Do you want to go on? Do you want to continue? It's so courageous, so beautiful to see people go through their processes. And yeah, like going home, I felt like I had, like, it felt like I had gone through something. Because honestly, when I was witnessing, looking at what was happening between the people, there was just this sense, this awe, like you're witnessing something so like, like, yeah, very difficult to put words onto it. Yeah, everything that I'm sharing is my relative experience, my subjective experience relative to me. So beautiful, so grateful also. Like I was just like so happy at the end, just like shining, like laughing, and they're like, oh, I'm so happy, you're so happy. But I really loved it. Yeah. Now we did a certain kind of theme, a certain kind of subject, which was like a warm-up. But then there are the real subjects. And that, I don't know, maybe we'll do a second workshop someday. Maybe not, but it's beautiful and very interesting to experience. Very grateful. I'm looking forward to do more of these and learn more as I go along. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.